Hey Libra, how's it going? Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, welcome to the channel. I am Nicole. It's nice to have all of you, always, right? Okay, Libra, so doing some full moon energy. Full moon was yesterday, but we know that energy can last, days before to days after, weeks after, sometimes months. It just depends. So we are going to go with, this is for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus cross watchers. If that is you, discern the messages accordingly and make sure they make sense to your life and you're not making them fit in a way that they don't, right? Common sense shit right there. All right, Libra, let's see what's going on for you guys. I have a few more signs for this to do, and then mid-month we'll do a more in-depth scope, so these messages are a little shorter than usual, but hey, we'll just check in, right? All right, Libra, let's see. Spirit for Libra, discernment and fortitude. I feel like you're losing patience with something right off the bat. You're gonna have to, Spirit is saying, taking a different perspective to something. They're saying play fair. So I don't know what that's about. But you need to pick out the beautiful things in life and stop focusing on the negatives. Is first and foremost how this is coming through. I feel like you're anxietizing yourself. Just right off the bat, it's like you're making mountains out of molehills again, is what Spirit is giving me. It's almost like you've gotten bored or complacent with a particular situation that's requiring you to see things very differently. It's very much that hangman energy with this discernment card. You may be just focused on one particular area of life, not looking at the big picture at this time. Think about your long-term progress and what it is that you desire to accomplish, because in that you're going to have harmony, is what they're giving me. These messages for this series of videos that I'm doing for you guys, specialization, specialized approach is what they're giving me. You're going to have to transform some energies, find a way to bring peace and beauty into your life. Spirit has been spitting these out to me. It's crazy. Like our guides, they find different ways to communicate with us. And for me lately, it's been like vomit of the mouth, like a horrible way to put it, gross, right? But they just come in and they're like, boom, let it go, let it out. So that's what we're doing. All right, Spirit for Libra, what does Libra need to know for this full moon period? What does Libra need to know? Perception and brilliance. It's going to be about how you're seeing things, that I just said, that hangman energy, seeing things differently, taking a new approach to things. If you see things in a negative sense, you're going to get negative results, right? We are attracting where we are energetically vibing from. The messages are coming faster than I can talk today. Goodness. But you know that there's a different way of doing things, and now you have to be willing to step into that creative space for yourself that is allowing your heart to transform, allowing your heart to open, coming from a more patient and understanding place of what's going on the other side of the situations or people that you're dealing with. If you take, I feel like you're in a very serious approach, almost bitchy. I'm just going to be blunt, bitchy. You're going to have to use some lighthearted energy, and there's that rediscovery. Libra, I feel like you're being called to take a look at some self shit. It is as if you need to remember what it was as a child that you struggled with yourself. And if you have children, are you putting those same pressures on them? Are you expecting them to play the way that you did or what your life was like? Because you're going to have to open it up to the idea that every generation is different, is how this is coming through. So this may pertain to children. I think Taurus, you may have Taurus in your chart as well. Taurus is reading pertain to children too. Fragments, your perception, you're bringing shit from the past in forward with you, and you're trying to block it out, but yet it's like you're gonna have to find a more grounded approach to healing the things of the past that are coming through right now for you. You may feel like you're overwhelmed trying to protect yourself, hiding behind things that are not serving of your growth. I feel like you've got a lot of eyes on you. You may have eyes on somebody else. I'm not sure. Again, discern accordingly and reverse the roles as it applies for you. But if you're trying to hide, the thing with that sticks out to me more than anything with this fragments card is how dark the mind space is. And honestly, as many times as I've thrown these cards down, I've never seen it that way before. It's like everything from here is very action oriented, but up here it's a negative mindset, and that perception that you're sitting in right now is a negative mindset. It's stormy, it's anxietized, it's restless. Um, Again, you've got the ability to turn this into something positive rather than something negative. What are you going to do with that? And Spirit is reiterating, play well with others. You may be finding that right now you may be struggling with some consistency, or trying to find yourself a new state of consistency in your life. For Libra, please, Spirit. For Libra, please, Spirit, for this period. Patterns. Is this a pattern? This rediscovery, when I talked about children, this connects to that. The patterns of the behaviors of the past as well. I feel like there's a lot of external shit that you're kind of covered in, wound up in, but it's going to require you to work to the core of who you are. Going back to the basics of who you were as a child, who you are, what are your dreams, desires, hopes. If there's things there that are unresolved and undealt with, it is time. These fragments and the patterns are asking you to take a very solid look at yourself and how you can change this. They're asking you to take, but here's the thing. You've got repetition and motion underneath that, and absence. You may be dealing, again, this is pattern behavior. This may be some karmic stuff. This may be a spirit coming in, and it's saying to you that you need to address these things. Right? And it's going to be up to you how you discern what you're doing. It's going to be different for all of you as to what it is that you're dealing with, and how you're going to have to find a way to heal and resolve those situations that lie internally. Alliance. I feel like your alliance is solely to yourself, but I want to say to you, you also may be dealing with a mother figure at this time as well, Libra, that you feel that you are, maybe you feel like you owe them, maybe you feel like you have to, keep good graces because that's family, right? That statement of, well, they're family, just because they're family doesn't mean that they've got your best desires at heart. And this to me is generational. Whatever trauma has been done to you, whatever healing that you've been required to do, or even healing that you've not yet addressed, you're passing this down from generation to generation. And you're going to have to ask yourself, is that anger, is that hurt, is that frustration, that not wanting to be seen, hiding behind our emotions, the mental catastrophe that's going on, is this something that you want to continue to pass down? You are at a space where you have the right to renew this, to change this. Time is on your side, but in the same sense, it's also pushing you forward. Like, you're feeling the pressure surrounding a situation that you're going to have to take a new approach to different things. And Spirit's going to let you get away with that. Universe, God, whatever you put your faith into is only going to give you so much time until they create tower moments for you that are going to require you change that's beyond your control, right? So it's like, step into it while you have a say, rather than Spirit coming to you and making you do it differently, against your own will. You know what I'm saying? So don't know that I expressed that the best way, but it's the same concept, right? All right, Spirit, for Libra, what else does Libra need to know for this time? Fulfillment, letting go. If you want to reach your best fulfillment, you need to let go of the past. It's time to move in. There are things that are still, like, they're like stuck with you, that you need to resolve. For some of you, you may be in a space of letting go, and you're starting to get a taste of what it is I'm going to say, without this mother figure in your life. When you distance yourself from this person, you may realize how much easier life tends to flow. But Spirit's also giving me the fact that you tend to miss those moments with that person, or what that relationship was supposed to be, or could have been, I should say. Fragments again. 2 different decks. Both decks have a card that requires fragments. And it's almost like you may be seeing parts of yourself that you see are beautified. You may be focused on your looks and a facade, or the outside surface, rather than what's going on internally as well. And of course, we need to take care of ourselves, right? But that beauty it goes skin deep. It's also what's underneath at the surface that really matters, and how that shines outward. And I think sometimes that you question your own worth, your own value as a result of this. So it's time to make some significant changes. It's shedding skin, right? It's becoming the new you. So, you know, embrace that. That's not a bad thing. Change is scary, right? And I feel like this is a sense of change for you mentally and emotionally that you're not sure that you're willing or able to take on, because of this, you know, because of your foundations of where you initially started at in life. But the difference is you have the wisdom, and if you're willing to open up to that wisdom, you're going to be able to transform this energy and transmute it accordingly. So for Libra, fulfillment, again, I'm telling you guys, and there's that letting go. What are the odds? That was, these both came out on the split, and I'm going to take those. 222 may be significant fours. This is about your foundations as well. You're in a space right now where you can transform this high priestess of earth. It is time to get grounded. It is time to be stable at this point. And it's going to be how you handle it. You've got free will. It's either glass half full or glass half empty. You get to change your direction. You get to change your focus of how you're going to handle things moving forward. They're also saying to me too about like the forbidden fruit kind of thing. How it's almost like questioning, if you do this, how this works. Okay. But it's necessary. It's necessary if you want to make unions in your life, not just romantic, but unions all throughout your life that are going to be fulfilling, excuse me, fulfilling and feel good to you. You know, it's going to be about your perception of a situation. So for Libra, please, Spirit, we've got the thinking man and the thinking woman. Are we going head to head with something or someone? Strategizing, planning, contemplating different things at this time as well. Here's the thing, male, female, however you identify, you know, it's like, there's a, I keep losing my voice. This weather is, you know, 70 one day, 30 the next, good grief. It's like a matching of wits, a matching of understanding, to the point that when it comes to, it's like king of swords, queen of swords kind of energy, right, to me. You guys, if you're dealing with somebody, you're brought together for a reason. It's time to harmonize that reasoning. It's so weird that it comes out this way, but it's time to harmonize that reasoning. You know, getting on the same page, doing things that are going to be beneficial. You have the Sun card there. Indecision. Something that may have brought you some kind of attachment to this indecision. Something that may have brought you some kind of pleasure in the past. You know, you're right now, you get to make a choice. Like, I feel like things have become very gray, very barren, very exhausting. You know, kind of like, it's like dancing with the devil, but you get to decide how you're going to transform this. Woman holding heart, someone around you is trying to keep their self balanced in regards to their emotions, but they're also holding back at this time. And you've got to ask yourself why it is whether this is you or them that is holding back and reserving their heart space. The thinking man is like, how am I going to get through this? The temple path and blossoming abundance. Somebody does want to have something great and stable with you, but what are you doing to bring that forward? And I do feel like you're trying, but I feel like this stuff from the past, these old emotional wounds have probably come up for you over this full moon period, and may continue to for some time. In order to get to this fulfillment, you're going to have to really work through those emotional blockages so that you can have a new beginning. So, all right, let's clarify the Sun for Libra, please, Spirit. Sun. 5 of Cups. What I say, that Sun, it's like what was good and great and golden, and now you feel like you're missing out on something. The Moon, those are emotions coming to the surface. So again, like I just stated, you may find right now that these emotions are coming of the heartbreak or disappointments or whatever it is that you've dealt with where you feel emotionally lack. I feel like, Libra, that this is totally you. You could be dealing with a Leo. That Sun card very much reminds me of the Leo in this Oracle deck. Doesn't have to be, though, in the Moon, Pisces, Cancer energy. But it is asking you to give attention to these deeper internal feelings of what it is that you're dealing with, because this is a cycle for you. This is going to change the way that your life goes forward based upon your decisions. And remember that every decision that we make You know, there's consequences if we're not acting from the right space, and there's reward if we are acting from a good space. Indecision for Libra, please, Spirit. Ten of Swords. You know, there could be a desire to end situations, and that's fine. Queen of Pentacles. You know, it's almost like you see somebody's outside of yourself, and this could be you though too, Libra. Queen of Pentacles, so I get the feeling that this is somebody else, but putting an end to these falsified ideas or beliefs, or you maybe see somebody else, you know, having a glow up, changing their life, becoming more stable and balanced, and it's like you're looking at them like there was some type of ending that occurred at some point when it comes to somebody else in your life. And again, this could be a mother figure, not saying that it absolutely is, but it's like Spirit is saying they may be holding something over you. The Ten of Wands and the Fool, it's too hard to start over. It's not too hard to start over, and I feel like that Spirit is asking you to give this renewal, as we've seen throughout the other deck, a chance. You get to change. Just because you maybe have a bad history with something or somebody doesn't mean that you can't, you know, in place boundaries, and work with somebody on a different level as well, so that you have a different way of doing things. Woman holding a heart and the Judgment, both in reverse. Not being able to make up their mind about how this works, and the Sun they have at some point, and I do feel like you may be dealing with different people and different energies as well, but they tend to be feminine energies. Not being able to make a fair and balanced decision, and not being able to feel like that they can receive that Ten of Cups with you at this time, and that is why they are being in a very reserved space. They're questioning their own judgment, and some things are being illuminated through that. Like, you come in, and I think that you know this, Libra, but in the same space, it's like, you know, it can be really good. You may be making some type of effort, but it's like without prevail. So then again, it's the need to look back at the history of the situation and ask where, you know, we as our own individual people take accountability and responsibility for our actions and how we got to where we are. You know, we are all responsible for ourselves and how we respond and react to situations, and we get to decide if we're going to take a different approach or not. So done a little bit of love stuff here recently with you guys for these readings, so I'll throw you guys a couple of romance cards and see what pops out, Libra. Engagement and flirt. This may be a space of just renewing your connection with another person as well. It could also just be that things are picking up some pace that could be promising. However, pay attention to the red flags. Signs are cautioning you. Are you, and I'm going to go back to the fact that, are you repeating patterns of the past? Is this just a falsified falsehood? Playfulness. Okay, so to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine in deception. I feel like there is a false mask, absolutely, that, you know, you may have come across a soulmate. You guys may be going back and forth right now. For those of you who might be single, pay attention to the fact that people are going to come in and they're going to show you different parts of yourself that you're going to have to level up and acknowledge. And through that, you know, that's where I feel like this deception isn't necessarily coming from somebody else. This is self-deception. Check your intentions, and I feel like that's come up a couple of times. I'm not sure what all I said at this point because there's been so much, but it's time to check your intentions. Are you involved in the things that you're involved in because you know, I don't think anyone ever starts off, how do I say this? I don't think that anybody ever really starts off in a sense of maybe gains or feeding off of somebody else for something. I don't think it ever, for the most part anyhow, anybody coming from a decent space has those intentions, but it can turn into that over time depending on codependency issues, right? The important thing right now is that either you or the person that you're dealing with, or even if you're single, that you clearly decide what it is that you want. And that's what this says. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. If you're not certain about a situation, then take a step back and give yourself time to figure that out before you just jump in to something that may not be fulfilling in the long run, or may not be for your best soul's growth, where you're going to end up learning a lot of lessons. Attraction, free yourself. There it is. I said about family issues, right? So here we go. Chemistry, healing family issues, free yourself, stay optimistic about your love life. That's transforming that energy of anything that is negative patterns, thoughts, beliefs, getting into a more positive stance and attraction, because you are always going to attract in what it is that you're vibing at any given time. And that's been a big message for a lot of the signs right now. So this could be the cosmos working, right, as to where our focus and attention needs to be on the things that we're doing. So you have to have a clear mind space if you want other people to come in clearly to you on the right frequency, okay? Libra, that was a lot. Blah, 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 blah. I feel like an auctioneer. But Spirit was throwing those messages pretty quickly, pretty heavily out to me. Playfulness, the person that you're with or maybe desiring, that could very well be the one that, that you're supposed to spend some time with. New love, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings, but pay attention to the red flags. I read this thing one time that it said there's yellow flags before there's red flags. Amen. Go back, hindsight's 2020. You're like, oh hell, what did I do? Why didn't I see that? But I kind of feel like you need to pay attention to your own red flags, because I feel like you are aware of your patterns and behavior. Make sure that you're changing that up if it turned into like things that weren't great for you. Separation behind very soon. You may be in what I'm going to call an emotional state of separation, not necessarily a physical one right now. Because if you're not feeling good about things, we tend to distance ourselves and kind of cocoon. We all do it to some extent. So that separation just may be in the emotional longing of what it is that you're dealing with at this time. So Libra, that's going to be that. We're going to wrap this up. If you found that this message resonated for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to comment. Keep the comments nice and lovely. And then if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. It helps circulate the messages for everyone else that needs to hear them as well. And you're going to get notifications every time a new video is posted. And it is a great way to show your love and support for the channel. And I appreciate you all very, very much for that. All right, guys, if you're interested in personal readings, that information, again, is found in the description box below, as well as the About section of the page. And you guys have a fantastic week, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.